Heavenly Parent, please embrace and love your children with all your heart. So now, our speaker will be speaking on the Restoration Road. His message is called Restoration Road Approaches Heaven's Sanctum. And he'll be sharing about his reflections from his trip to Korea from April 6th to the 14th of the H.H. Chunwon complex. And so, yes, let's all welcome up Mr. Ray McCready. You want the podium?
All right. That's pretty loud, isn't it? I'll wake myself up here in a minute. So actually, Thursdays, before I launch into that, let me offer a prayer. Because I'm praying also for Sai, who I'm really grateful for. Because when I walked in the sound room, I couldn't figure out how to turn even the computer screens on. And then Sai arrived. And of course, the Elijah family is in Anchorage, Alaska, or somewhere thereabouts. So hopefully, most of this is actually just pictures from my trip to Korea. So if we can figure out how to get it up here, we couldn't, when Elijah's here, he does all these magical things, right? And he makes it look easy. And so I even brought my laptop, but we need something that connects into the screen. And so that's what I'm hoping happens. But let me begin with a prayer, okay? So please join me in prayer. Beloved Heavenly Parent, here it is, a beautiful day near the end of April. By the solar calendar, by the heavenly calendar, it's, I think, near the end of March. And we're grateful for this day. This is the day that you have made. Heavenly Parent, I was thinking this morning of how when I grew up, I almost never went to church. That wasn't our tradition in my family. And yet when I went to college, I realized that nobody seemed to know really what was going on. And so I started talking to you and I don't know if it was a prayer, but I was talking to you, and that kind of was the beginning of my own spiritual journey. And we did many things together in those days in the 1970s, and I could meet the Unified Family in Montana. And so I'm grateful for this time. Each one of us here is an individual truth body. Each person here has their own life of faith. Each person here has their own journey that they're walking on. And this is what we understand from the true parents, our own portion of responsibility. Now, we understand we need to have faith, but we understand also that through the true parents, we have something to do. Everything isn't just given to us. Even as, whether it was for Adam or Eve or for Jesus, who we just celebrated his resurrection last Sunday, Easter Sunday. So thank you, Heavenly Parent, for Resurrection Sunday. We thank you for this time. And we can really appreciate that Jesus fulfilled his responsibility and therefore could stand as your only begotten Son and could really mirror your divinity. Thank you, Jesus. And we want to now understand also what's going on with this important time that was mentioned in the quote where we had the entrance ceremony. So we thank you for that. We ask your guidance upon each person here. They can get something to take away from this sharing today and be enriched and have more to share with their family, with their friends, with the people they meet, wherever they are in their life and their travels. We thank you for that. We thank you for this opportunity. And we're grateful for all that you are doing in our lives. And I offer this grateful prayer here on this Sunday service here in Ballard at the Seattle Family Church. And I report and pray in my name. Ray McCready is a member of a blessed family in attendance to Holy Mother Han. Jew. All right. See, I just kept praying and hoping that screen would come up. Each mic is a little different, so this one's a little interesting. Uh, so, Restoration Road approaches heaven's sanctum. You're sitting there thinking, what does that mean, right? Especially Dallas. Dallas is thinking, what does that actually mean? And I'm going to explain. Because my wife and I went there along with 1,700 other people from America. That was what somebody reported. There was 1,700. Who here was over in Korea on April 12th and 13th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, a lot of us. All right. So it was a great time. It was a terrible time. It's kind of like in the Bible. It talks about the great and terrible day of the Lord. All right. Now, why do I say it was a great and terrible time, Martin? Because sometimes it was great and other times it was totally terrible. Yeah, the weather. Amen, amen. So, actually, I'll show you some pictures. And I've already been in the Chungshim World Peace Center before. So, I got back there this time, but that is as close as I got to the new temple, all right? So that's what I'm saying I was approaching. All right, thank you for changing the slide. So I was sitting there thinking, why am I here in the middle of the peninsula? And then I grabbed this off of the screen at the Chumshin Peace Center. You have 3 screens actually, left, and then a middle big one, and then the right. And this is from what Mother said. We are now walking the path, or somebody said, this is the path that True Mother has opened. And because when you get there, you realize, I'm only actually here for 5 days. And I hadn't extended the stay. Let's go to the next slide. So I'd heard so much about this building, and I thought, I'd like to go see this building. All right? And it's a beautiful building. I think that's really awesome. I don't know if you can imagine that actually, let's see how long the cord is here. If you actually look, the building goes all the way from out here underground. So actually that is the main part. It has the temple and the Chun-Il Sanctum. Can you all say Chun-Il Sanctum? All right. So as usual, I'm just making this up as I go. Chun is heaven. Check me. Il is maybe one. And sanctum, anyway, it's the one sacred place. And so that's actually in the main building. But there's a lot that you do not see. All right, so go to the next slide. And I got this slide because it actually says, I was sitting here, I keep wondering, they keep changing the names of these buildings. Am I right, Charles? You go up there and one time it's called this, and next time you go up there and suddenly it has a new name. It's the Chunwon or the Chunbo or the this or the that. So that's why I took that picture. It tells me it's the Chumshim Peace World Center. And I really noticed the order of the words, because normally people would say the Chumshim World Peace Center. But in this case, it's the Chumshim Peace World Center. And it would have been really cool if they would have put up, you know, the Hancha or Kanji, and then maybe some Hangul. But it's all in English, just see to really. All right, so that's where we were. And this is early. A lot of people aren't there yet, but you can see the seats have little stickers on them. Because you can seat about 25,000 people, and all of the areas kind of like, you know, set up. Who gets to sit there? Well, let's go to the next slide. So now this is from the 12th, and I'm going to go back in time in a minute because, but this is, we're here, and Akuya and I were seated somewhere right up yonder, and but I was walking around taking pictures. And this is early. This is really early on the 12th, right? So there's still a lot of open seats. By the time the thing starts, the whole place is packed. Not only is the place packed, there's people sitting out in the foyers on chairs with the little video screens also watching. Everybody just wants to be there. All right, so these are the ministers. So when I went with the UPF group, but we were instructed in March that we were basically going to support the ministers that were coming, the WCLC, all right? And so We didn't bring any ministers from Seattle, right? And that's a whole story in itself. You know, I could probably give a whole sermon on that. It would be a Ray McCready sermon, all right? You're with me, David? Because in some areas we had all these restrictions in our minds, and we could only bring people under these conditions. And I found other people, they just blew right past those restrictions. They brought people that didn't have their spouse with them. They brought a picture. I'm just saying, this is the providence of God. If you really want it, you get it. If you push hard enough and you try hard enough and you make enough noise, which this group here is pretty quiet, so bear with me. But this is just interesting. This is early. Everybody's kind of waiting for something to happen. And what's up there? That's the VIP room, right? So I'm sitting like just close to that, and I walk back there, and I look up, and there's Michael Jenkins, my boss in UPF. And he looks at me, and he starts pointing at me like, hey, you. You know, and he's in there with, you know, this place for Paula White and, you know, Newt Gingrich and all these people, right? And I didn't want to look like I was, you know, kind of spying on the VIPs there, so I quickly said hi and walked on, right? Well, this is just awesome. But like here, there's a lot of open seats. Let's go to the next slide. This is when, you know, you leave here on a Tuesday. Kuya and I left on a Tuesday, the 8th, and you fly and you lose a day, all right? This is always very strange to me. I'm going like, I've lost a day of my life, right? But don't worry, Charles. Did I get it back? Yes. When you come back, you leave, and then you actually arrive the same day before you left. And I'm going like, no wonder I have jet lag. So actually, you can see, basically we were there on the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, because by the 14th, we're already, you know, heading to the airport, right? And so Thursday, originally, we were supposed to be at this Chunbok Gung Yongsan church. But in the morning, we wake up, and they had modified the schedule. This is the modified one, and we actually went up to Chumshinwan. So we got up to Chunpyeong, you know, and you're on the bus, and we go in there, and suddenly there's this revival service happening, right? And I thought, this is it. I'm back in ACLC. And I'm okay with that. And it was beautiful. And there was this one, okay, the Heavenly USA was there. And they're, you know, the white jackets. They were supporting this lady, Deborah Harris. And she was from Chicago. And this lady stands shorter than I am, but she's a little stockier. I didn't put her picture in here because I can't put too many pictures in. This sister can sing, right? Because she's now in Las Vegas. And this woman sang like for 45 minutes, you know, leading song after song. And it was awesome. And I was duly impressed. Later, I was wondering why, because we thought on Sunday, on the 13th, we would get to go up to the Chunwon-gun, right? Because, you know, we're supposed to be out in the plaza. The plaza is huge, and there's section A, section B, section C. And one of the sections was reserved for the, you know, ministers. And of course, some of the people would get inside the building, right? But I was thinking, yeah, I probably won't. I'll just be sitting outside. Okay, I brought my coat. Come to find out, it's like bitter cold. It's blowing. Some of those tent things are blowing over. And so we get the word at the airport, certain people get called, and they go, because they're going inside, right? So they don't want the ministers that have come to create a freeze. You're with me? They just thought that would not be a great thing, right? So the rest of us got shunted over back to the Chuncheon Peace Center. And then just so you see, I thought this was interesting. The next day we had a tour. You could choose, you know, there was 2 tours, or you could just do whatever you wanted. Which we went with tour 2, which was, we were supposed to see the Soul Needle, something or other. That was so interesting. You get on the bus, you go there, and then you see it up on the hill, and you're going like, they go, actually, we don't have time to go there. So they brought the buses back. We get back on the bus, and we go to this the market. And then, so that was cool. We got to have lunch in a real Korean restaurant. Since you're in Korea, it's pretty easy to have lunch in a Korean restaurant. Am I right, Karen? And so then after that, we went to the History Museum of Korea. And boy, if we want to see old pots and swords, there's tons of them down there, you know what I'm saying? And it was a long walk, I'm telling you. Hey, come on, 5,000 years of history, right? Korean history. Who here has studied Korean history? Oh, yeah, all right. Oh, baby. You were waiting for the epic to come out, right? Nice. And then the next day, the 2 big days, were Saturday, Sunday. We had the, we got up. We would leave the hotel at 5:30 in the morning or so, rough about, right? So on both days, and get up there. So we were there nice and early, so that was cool. And then on the Saturday, there was the true parents' wedding anniversary, then the blessing ceremony, and we'll see some pictures. And we got to go on the breaks up the hill. And there was this big thing. There was the International and Interfaith Cultural Center. I hadn't realized this big building was up there. I hadn't somehow paid attention. And they had like all kinds of meeting rooms and places to have banquets and stuff like this. So we got to go up there. And that was beautiful. And then in the afternoon, there was an international prayer meeting, interfaith prayer meeting. And then the drone show was actually moved to the day before because they knew there was bad weather, right? So you should watch, if you didn't see it, watch last week's global, what is that? The weekly, the global news. Thank you, Melissa. And that was pretty cool. And then, of course, on the Sunday was the big day we were all waiting for, with the entrance ceremony and then the victory celebration. All right, you with me? Who here watched the entrance ceremony and the victory thing here with Pastor Nelson? Okay, some. How was that? It's okay? Nice. In a sense, I was doing exactly the same thing. I'm sitting in the Chumshin Peace Center. I was a lot closer to the Chumwangun, but I still wasn't at the I was watching just like you were watching it on screen, right? So I thought that was, I don't know if that's ironic. Somebody, if Professor Lowe, he could give me if that's the proper use of the word ironic. You fly, 9,000 miles or whatever it is, and then you're still watching it on a video screen. Hey, but it was a bigger video screen, so we were happy. And let's go to the next slide. And so this is when we were at the Chumshinwan on the 10th. Now, later I was sitting there, I was just struggling. We were so close. That was a beautiful day on the 10th. We could have just, why didn't they just take us to the Chunwangun and let us walk around for half an hour? Come on. And then later when I watched the HJ Global News, I found out Mother was over there right at the same time. And they were doing an entrance ceremony in the lower section, which has all of this stuff, with all the paintings and the whole story. But I didn't get to see it, so I can't tell you in detail. Huh? Yeah. There you go. See? Melissa's paying attention. Let's hear it. Hallelujah. But this was the kind of like the impromptu revival. And this was neat because this is a special building, Beautiful prayers have gone on. Actually, ACLC, I think, started here. They went over, some ministers went there. They prayed. If you ever see those pictures, some ministers, nobody told them a thing. They went and laid down and just prayed. It was amazing. And then they climbed up the mountain. And, that was a famous story. Then the sun, there was a halo around the sun. Anyway, for those who studied ACLC, next slide. This was just like getting to know you. I call this because we realized this was our effort was to support and be with the ministers and just have a good experience with it. So for some reason, this very beautiful minister lady thought she wanted to understand Ikuyo, so she said, who are you? Who are you? And started asking her. I actually don't know all what she was saying. I was doing something. All right, so this was a lot of what we were doing, is basically supporting and being with the ministers, right? Let's go to the next slide. And then we had 40 minutes to do something, right? So, you're on a tour, right? So you're always looking at your watch. Okay, you got 45 minutes. So we go down and checked out the department store, and then we went to the tea house, which is really cool. And you know, you got the beautiful lake behind it and everything. So next slide. If you go around the back of the tea house, there's this thing, and they have created 2 different hiking trails. One just goes right up the hill. You can see the green one. The other one goes, and what you're supposed to do is it's a health walk. So you're supposed to take off your shoes and your socks and walk barefoot. All right? This is Mother. Well, I've realized this is the era of Mother. You know, so like when I watch the global news, I'm always thinking, there's all of these educational programs going on at the same time. There's the Top Gun, there's, you know, the spiritual workshop. Are you with me? Mother's age is the age of education, right? And this is the age of keeping healthy, right? So actually, later you can wash your feet. I don't know if I put that slide in, but I thought this was significant. And you can see the new, come on, you know, whoever went there in the 1990s, this down here was this little, you know, kind of small building. And then up the hill there was this tent. You could stay in the big tent. They had lectures and everything there. Now you got everything's totally different. All right, next slide. So if you look up the hill from the tea house, you see all this. And that's the big, amazing multi-purpose place. You can actually stay in the downstairs. They do a lot of activities upstairs. And I think that's the Chunbo Hall at one point. I'm not sure. There's a hospital at the top. And it's just a beautiful view, right? When I was there in 1997, they were flattening. There was actually a hill. It was made out of granite. So they were sitting there with these big machines, basically pulverizing the granite so they could create a flat space to build that building. So I thought that's really cool. And I like granite. I'm from Montana. I used to live in Montana. There's a lot of granite in Montana, right? So I resonate with Korea. All right, so that's a beautiful view, and the Chumchinwan is right past those tents. It's right around the corner there. And I don't even know what that building way up yonder is. Does anybody know what that? It's behind the Vision 2027 Victory. Say what? Seminary? And for those who were there in the Shinagawa. Training place? Okay. And for those who were there in the early 2000s, there was a really cool bathhouse, which was really awesome, which they took it back out. I missed that bathhouse. That was really cool. So there it is. Let's go to the next slide. So then we finally got down to this Chunbok church. And very beautiful church, and we're there with all the ministers and various people, and they prepared a nice service again. So we were doing a lot of praying and singing. Who's the Huda? Oh, the Husa, yeah, Husa. They call them the ACLC choir. Husa ACLC choir, yeah. Heavenly, yeah. And I saw Melissa's daughter there. And she's, growing up. And I saw Pastor Rosie's daughter was there. And, it was good to meet people. All right, next slide. So this is what's outside at the Chunbokgung. So you have, what's that, Confucius, Buddha, Jesus, and then that's the Holy Quran. Because in Quran, you cannot put up an image of anybody. That's called idolatry, right? So it's a really cool place. Yeah. So next slide. And this is, Reverend John Jackson, I think, and that's his wife. And then he is actually the one that kind of organized a lot of this tour, the ACLC tour. And he allowed the UPF to join because we weren't even going to go with anything but Barry Geller. They said that you can get one bus worth of UPF people. So I signed up for that. All right, and that is Bishop Ron Thomas, if you know him. He's with the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World of Las Vegas. And that is the same denomination that Noel Jones is in, all right? And he's a great minister. Next slide. And this is looking at the people. There was also the First Nations people sprinkled about because Dr. Linda Nishikawa brought, I think, about 8 or 10 First Nations, some couples. And you see Pastor Barrett over there. Always love that guy. And so that's looking from the front. And then next slide. Now there was a really great singer there. He was like an Emmy Award-winning singer that did a lot of singing. But I think I ran out of time to put the slides in. Then this is at the market on the 11th. And so this little Korean lady was trying to, witness about, Christianity. And everybody's at the market. They're basically just ignoring her. So, like, here comes Bishop Rosario, and he walks up. That's his wife. And we're all waiting for the buses to come and take us to the next place, the museum, right? And he just starts street preaching. So we're all like, yay, Bishop Rosario. So that was fun. That was really, I felt that was a good condition, that he just up and started street preaching. And it's always also fun because when these guys put on their special robes or vestments, they look like this way. And here he is. He's just out here, nonchalant. Yeah, but he's still going to street preach, And I really appreciated that. The lady had already gone home or something, but she left her little card out there. All right, next slide. Oh, you can notice they still have 7-Eleven in Korea, hey? If you get homesick, you can always go to the 7-Eleven. All right. And this was, again, it's showing like everybody's getting ready to receive. Some people have their vestments on and whatnot. And we got our scarves. And next slide. That was a true appearance. That is Chief Looking Horse. Chief Looking Horse. And I don't remember if he brought his wife, but there's another First Nations couple right next to them. And, a lot of people say because in Native American culture, you really resonate with your ancestors, right? You kind of live with your ancestors. And so like they're really, this going to Chunpyeong, wow, ancestral liberation and, the holy blessing. So they were there. All right, next. And now this couple right behind, this lady she looks so happy, I have to say. That's must be her husband who couldn't make it or maybe already passed. And that couple, we were actually sitting right next to them, and they were from, I'm not even remembering, somewhere in America, probably the Midwest. They look like a good Midwest couple. And they were there for the cosmic blessing, the pastor and his wife. And so I thought that was so awesome. And next slide. Then for the 65th wedding anniversary, all these people were giving, like gifts to your parents. So there's, of course, Michael Balcom. He was our leader here for some years. Now he's, of course, representing Europe. Next slide. And now, this is on the day of the 65th wedding anniversary and the blessing. But the next day we came back here because of the weather, and Kuyo and I got to sit right in the second row here, right? So now the challenging thing is you're actually below the stage, right? Right. So actually, to watch what's happening on the stage, you mostly have to watch. On each side, there's a big video screen. And I just thought, though, it was remarkable because we got in that area. But this is the day of the blessing, so this is all blessing couples. You'll see, like, there's all the supporters, and then people are going up to greet your mother. And next slide. This was very beautiful to me. There's Kathy Brigney. And then she's going to get a special award from your mother. Of course, she pioneered Africa for most of her life. So special awards. And next, yeah. So here's some more. I believe that might be Archbishop Malingo and his wife. And there's Abernathy, Reverend Abernathy, Patriarch Stallings, Prophet Hedebe, and Paula White. Thank you. And so each one of them got a very special award that True Mother prepares. That's the heart of the mother. And these people that have done significant things for God's providence. And it was pretty cool. And then you can see these are like some of the gifts that somebody made, like that huge painting. Next slide. So then in the afternoon, they had the victory celebration. And we were sitting there, and suddenly Shinhun and Shinchul came, and they were going to do a flower presentation, so they got prepped up. I didn't put the slide in there. It was so cute because they're tall, and this little lady comes up. She's giving them instructions how to, what they're going to do. And I thought that was so cute because they're like looking down at her. And then they went up and gave the flowers. But later, Mother came all the way to the back, and they set the chairs, and then they were right above us during this. And I'm telling you, this thing was loud. I was wishing I kept my, because they had the translation things, I just left them in because it was really, really loud. Yeah, but it was so cool because we were sitting right behind True Mother and True Family. And always the closest person to True Mother usually is Hyojin's wife, Yona, right? And so she's always really so close to Mother, kind of taking care. So next slide. Okay. I put it in twice. I was trying to put in the other one, but that's okay. I was doing that this morning. I was putting this all together. And that movie, The Epic, was pretty in your face, some parts of it. It was pretty strong, pretty demonstrative. Next slide might be the end. Yeah, thank you. So a lot of it to me was going all that distance and then having to, go through all these things and just try to be there, for the ministers, be there for people. But also, you get to meet people you haven't seen in a long, long time, So, I ran across, some people, and it was very meaningful. So you're always trying to get over your own, you're like, oh, I wish I could do this, or something like that, and you're just trying to go with God's flow, you know what I mean? And, I have to repent, though, because could have extended our stay like Pastor Rosie, and so the guy that set up our tour for the UPF, he stayed an extra 3 days, because that way you could go on the tour. You could go in, and then Pastor Rosie, as you heard, also got up to Chunjungun, right? Which is the classic picture to me is the Chunwon-gun, that whatever that middle building is, and then the Chunjungun is up on the mountain, right? Charles, did you get to Chunjungun?
Yes.
Yes, he did. You beat me. So you have to create your own opportunities, right? That's another lesson to me. So I hope that's my lessons in life. It is what you make it. And, sometimes you have to stretch and do a little more than you thought you were going to do. And then if you do, God can bless you, right? If you just stay in your little comfort zone, usually you get some blessing. God's still trying to, how you doing, Ray? Yeah, it's okay. But if you, stretch more, you get more. So it was a very deep and meaningful thing, I think. The last thing I would say is listening to other people's testimonies after I came back. So we do a 5 a.m. prayer group, and each person had a unique, one person from the Los Angeles, Pasquale, if anybody knows Pasquale Santoro. He had this amazing thing where he was outside, he was freezing. And then all this stuff is going on. But it was just interesting here. So he actually got to Chunjungun, but, it was a challenging experience. Other people had other experiences. Each person had what kind of experience, Mr. Miyagi? Each person had a unique experience. Why? Because we're all unique. Are you? Who here is not unique? Good, you got your hands down, so you're all unique. I had to do that the right way. Okay, who here is unique? Okay, everybody raise your hand. All right. You're all unique. And that's why God deals with us each in our own unique way. And we need to make our own unique effort, right? All right. Well, my apologies. That's what I could come up with. I will say that on Thursday, when I knew I was going to meet Pastor Rosie, and then because we always talk, and then suddenly I found out that she'd booked a. But before I called Pastor Rosie, I had this impression. Oh, she just got back. She stayed longer in Korea. I probably should offer to do the sermon. And then she says, "I'm going to Philippines." And I go, "Well, I guess definitely I'll do the sermon." Because I'm hoping that Pastor Nelson can do it. But he had already scheduled. He's up in Bellingham this weekend, right? So, yeah, we got to cover for our pastor. She's, let's really pray. She has a great experience with her family, and they can, do great things together. And I think for her, it's an opportunity to be there. When I think of Pastor Rosie and Charles, how busy they are, just going. If you really know, Pastor Rosie's like, in the middle of the night, she's sending out emails and, links to this and that and all that. So let's really pray for her to have a great experience. Don't you think so? In the Philippines. It's not easy to get there, and it's a long way. And so it's great she has a couple weeks to be there and have good experiences. All right, thanks so much. Appreciate everybody. Thanks. Just look for the testimonies. It's by your testimony. That is your offering to God. All right? So I just want to remind everybody that, like, when they ask for testimonies, if you don't have anything to say, it kind of makes it, if somebody just logged on and they're watching us and think, oh, these people, they don't seem to have many experiences with God. You know what I'm saying? Am I right? But I'm sure you're having experiences with God. You just need to think about it. God did things, and yesterday I helped fix my deck, and I found this interesting guy, and he was my handyman, and I'm just saying, you just meet things. So, like, God is working. You just need to stop each day and think about it. How was God working in my life today? Because actually, if you stop and think, am I right, Melissa? It'll suddenly become apparent to you, oh, this happened, that happened. God is working, right? Whatever Scott's working on his house, he's always working on his house. Whatever, the materials came, they were actually the right materials, Somehow God is working. Is God trying to work for you, for our lives? You think so? Who here thinks God is trying to help you? Wow. All right. Okay, there's beautiful Bible verses about that in the Old Testament. God is there helping us, right? So he's going to help us right now to walk alongside True Mother, right? Holy Mother Han. Because is this the age of the Holy Mother Han? Yes. It's a new thing. It's the age of a new thing. It's the age of pure water. It's the age of these things, right? Who's the pure water? I just saw it before. It was 2nd gen, 3rd gen. Mother's standing there. If you watch the global news, she says, go out and witness and bring new, more pure water. She's saying anybody you witness to, especially young people, they can all become the pure water. Do you believe that? Are they supposed to be the pure water? Darn tootin', as they say. I don't know where they say that. Maybe they say that in Idaho. Do they say darn tootin' in Idaho? Definitely in Montana. All right, well, thanks so much. I'll offer one more short prayer. Heavenly Parent, we thank you for this time. We could share together. We could see some of the pictures, but everybody has a unique experience. And we want to become those who have a testimony and to testify to you that you're alive, that you're working, that you are definitely, in the age of True Mother, Holy Mother Han, you're trying to bring about great things. And you want to spread the good news. The good news is that true parents are established on the earth and that they are now inviting people to the holy marriage blessing, and that through this all humanity can change and all the wars can end
when people actually love each other, when people actually see the relationship, we're all created as one human family under you, Heavenly Parent. People go, what were we thinking? Why were we doing those stupid things? Fighting each other and all that. So we pray this can go forward. We can really do our best and fulfill our own portion of responsibility, like True Mother put in the motto for this year. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parent. You're awesome. You're always awesome. We want to be like you. Thanks so much, and we ask your guidance as we walk this path, each person an individual truth body, fulfilling their own portion of responsibility so we can really reflect you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and I report Ray of a Blessed Central Family attending Holy Mother Han. Aju.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a minute or two just to, reflect, pray. Okay, I hope you guys had good reflections or prayers. Now we're going to move on into announcements. So, first, thank you for all your tithing and donations. It really helps us to continue moving forward as a church. Without that, we can't really do anything, right? So, really, thank you guys so much for tithing and donations to support all the activities that we do. And so, next, and here are the ways you can donate if you, next announcement, we're all invited to join Chungshimon prayers, both local, national, and international. I'm sure many of you are aware, and we have our own Chungshimon to go to, and you're all welcome to join morning or night. And next, we have one more special grace Holy Wine ceremony on Pastor Rosie's return on May 8th. It's available by request. True Mother, after she comes back. So keep an eye out for that if you still haven't done it yet. It was extended, and so till May 22nd. So there's still some time if you haven't done it yet, or you know someone that would benefit from it and you'd like to encourage. And lastly, let's pray for Pastor Rosie's safety and well-being in her family as she is there and can safely come back. And so, yes, that is it. So now let's welcome back up the band and all rise as we sing our final song. We'll be singing a song requested by Uncle Ray, Sailing with Our Mother. The trip you're traveling gets long. Wishing for a new day to come. When the sun rises in the morning, we'll set sail on the morn. I will be sailing with our mother. You know her ship will never sail on the
If my wife was physically here, she should have said to Minister Ray, thank you for your message. This join prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Parent. Thank you, True Parent. We are so glad to be here today to listen the experience of your son. Heavenly Parent, True Parents, we know that day, April 12th and April 13th, you were so happy to see your children together around the world to celebrate the True Parents' wedding anniversary and the blessing of many of your children. And on the 13th, to witness the entrance ceremony that definitively you as a Heavenly Parent, you are living here with us on earth, and we know that many things will happen after that day because you are watching all of us very closely, not far the way you used to be, but now you are very close to us. And many things that happen in the world, you will not let those things happen again. That's why we want to really to be able to be with you all the time. Heavenly Parents, true parents, we know in the past that you try to communicate with human beings uh, by dreams, by vision, by revelation. But this time, Heavenly Parents, I think that you will shift the way to communicate with human beings because you are living here with us. And we want to really that we can communicate with you heart to heart, Heavenly Parents, and we can understand better. And this time, I pray that you can be with us, you can bless us today, this week, this month, this year, and the rest of our life. I pray that you can accept this prayer in my name with gratitude in attending the Holy Mother Hand. And my name, Charles Million, as blessed of family. Adieu. Thank you very much for your coming. I think food is downstairs.